Hello, and welcome back. Tonight's tale is about a strange, tall figure known as Hachishaku-sama, literally 8 shaku tall, who haunts lonely roads and quiet houses. In Japan, shaku is an old unit of length, about 1 foot each. That makes her roughly 8 feet tall, towering over anyone she meets. Some say she appears at night, dressed in a long white dress, always wearing a broad hat. Her voice is soft, almost a whisper, but her words bring only fear. It all began on a late summer evening. The cicadas were still singing as my friend Mika and I drove along the narrow country road. We were on our way to a small guest house for a weekend trip, just 2 students looking for a break. The moon was bright, and the forest trees cast long, dark shadows across the asphalt. It felt peaceful until we heard a soft tapping sound on the roof of the car. "Did you hear that?" I asked, glancing at Mika. She shrugged. "Probably a branch," she said. "These roads are old." But the tapping grew louder and slower, tap, 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 as if someone was walking in slow motion. My heart thudded. I leaned forward. "Drive faster," I said. Mika nodded and pressed the pedal. After a minute, the sound stopped. We both exhaled, relieved. The trees thinned, and the road opened up into a small village. We thought it was over. At the guest house, the owner greeted us with a smile. He was an old man with kind eyes, but a worried look. "This place is safe," he said. "But at night, sometimes people hear her." "Her?" I asked. He nodded slowly. "Hachishaku-sama. She wanders alone, waiting. If she looks at you, she follows. If she calls you, you must not answer." I glanced at Mika, whose face had turned pale. That night in our small room, we locked the door and lay in bed, listening to the wind. I wanted to laugh and say I was silly, but my hands trembled under the covers. At 2 o'clock, I woke to a faint scratching sound on the window. I sat up, heart pounding. Outside, I could see the silhouette of a very tall woman through the curtains. She wore a long dress and a broad hat that shaded her face. She lifted a slender hand and tapped the glass again. Tap, tap, tap. Then spoke in a low, gentle voice, like a lullaby. "Some. Me. Ko." Mika stirred beside me. I held my breath. "Don't answer," I whispered. We stayed silent as the creature repeated the name, each syllable slow and clear. Then she seemed to smile. Her lips moved, but no real sound came. Instead, the tapping continued for a few more seconds, then stopped. She vanished. The next morning, the owner told us there had been other sightings, guests who suddenly packed and left at dawn, or who just disappeared. We decided to leave right away, but as we drove back along the same road, the forest felt different, darker. The trees pressed in on each side, and the wind had died. Then, in my side mirror, I saw her. A tall figure standing at the very edge of the road, motionless. Her white dress gleamed under the moonlight still left over, even though it was nearly dawn. I slammed on the brakes. The car screeched to a halt. Mika screamed and looked back. "There she is." I spun the wheel to turn around, but the car skidded. We crashed into a low tree. The airbag hit me, and I saw stars. For a moment I was dazed. When I opened my eyes, the figure was at the driver's side window, peering in. Her head was tilted, and her eyes dark, empty, seemed to stare right through me. I tried to roll up the window, but the button wouldn't work. I was frozen with fear. Then a sudden crash at the passenger door. Mika pushed me away and ran around the back of the car. She yanked the door open and we both tumbled onto the gravel. We ran into the forest, branches tearing at our clothes, roots tripping us, but we didn't look back. Behind us, we heard a soft tapping. Tap, tap, tap. Always the same slow rhythm. We ran until we reached a small shrine hidden among the trees. The torii gate was old and half covered in moss. Inside were several stone statues, each wearing a little red bib. Legend says these bibs protect the dead from evil spirits. We knelt beside the main statue and prayed out loud, tears in our eyes. Please, protect us from her. Keep us safe. For a few breathless minutes, nothing moved. Then we heard footsteps on the path, fast but careful, as if someone was looking for the shrine. We stayed silent, holding hands. The footsteps stopped at the torii gate. A soft voice said, "Sumiko?" Our breath hitched. It was the same voice, but closer. We waited, hearts pounding. After a moment, the voice faded away and the footsteps receded into the distance. When we dared to look outside, there was no one. Dawn broke and the forest looked peaceful again, but we didn't stay. We walked until we found a main road and finally caught a bus back to the city. We never spoke of that night again, until today. Some friends say I imagined it all. Others believe that once Hachishaku-sama chooses a name like Sumiko, she will call you again and again until you answer. And if you answer, she will come for you. I'll end the story here, but remember this. If you ever hear soft tapping in the dark and a gentle voice calling your name, don't look, don't answer. Just run and find a place of protection. A shrine, a church, your own locked door, and pray for safety. Because Hachishaku-sama waits. She is patient, and she will never stop calling.